all the mistakes, but we got to the top.
You were also already growing 3 by Squared at this time, but you also didn't really know that point. You were just selling handbooks instead of podcasts.
So
you had no idea where this was going to go. I don't think you thought you were going to have like almost 2,000 customers across the United States. That transition was really hard. Just going down the hill.
We used all of our energy on getting up the mountain. I mean, selling your company can be worse than building your company.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to ABA Business Leaders Podcast, brought to you by 3 Pi Squared. I'm April.
I'm Steven.
Hello, everybody. You just have, is everything okay?
Just got like a little coffee grinds in my coffee.
Oh, just makes it more caffeinated.
There you go.
A little fiber.
Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah. You know, we're supposed to increase our fiber, so coffee grounds it is. Today you got me and Steven. No special guest today, although I could say that Steven's our special guest. We will be highlighting Steven today. So if you don't already know, what we are kind of talking about here is Steven has written a book, and the pre-release is April 14th. By the time this podcast airs, it should be out for like the pre-release should be out and going. So you should be we'll link everything that you need to know in the show notes. So you can go and click on the link and, purchase it. So Steven, you wrote a book.
So I self-published the book. You can still get it in Apple, iBooks, but I don't know anybody that actually uses Apple iBooks, but that is a possibility. So it's like, it was kind of like a for dummies kind of setup, you know, like, and it was like step by step on how to make an ABA practice. I self-published that, and it was more of like a step by step type thing. And that's how we created the business masterclass, right? We kind of used that book as the framework for that. And so, I wanted to write another book. I don't know. But this time I wanted to do it a little differently, more of a narrative, more of like kind of telling our story in bits and pieces, and, you know, the things that we've heard in consults, things we've heard in AMAs, things we've heard in the podcast, right? And so that's kind of what this book is.
So the book, drumroll please, is the ABA Business Leaders Guide, How to Start, Grow, and Sustain an Ethical ABA Practice Without Losing Your Soul.
Yes.
And so, you know, there are little bits and pieces within the book that I'm super excited about. I think Steven's guided you through, you know, the necessary steps and all of the boring stuff, the technical stuff, the make sure you don't forget this stuff, and little tricks and tips on how to do things. But throughout it, he's really, I believe, done a really great job of weaving in the intention of like sitting with it, right? Like slowing it down and just kind of sitting, especially in those beginning stages of like, why am I even doing this? Really making sure that you're anchoring into your why. And even throughout all the stages, going back and anchoring back into your why.
Right.
Is there a specific reason, like why you chose to do that? Or,
I mean, it was, you know, from all, like I said, the reason was like from the podcast. I feel like this is, I don't know the best way to describe it. I feel like it's more meaningful than you do it this way because
just a how-to manual.
You do it this way because I tried to weave in some stories to kind of say this is the reason why we do it this way, right? This is why you should consider this at least, right? And then the other thing, like, you know, like I said, we've had several BCBAs read the book. The feedback was better than I would have expected. And then we also had like Nandi, shout out to Nandi. He reviewed the HIPAA section. We had Prem, our billing extraordinaire manager. He reviewed the billing part. We had August, our marketing expert. So shout out to August. She reviewed the marketing section, right? And then just all the people from that joined the podcast and the people that were willing to come on free consults and share their story. And that's really what it comes from. I don't know if that answers your question or not. Okay. This whole thing, like it's very strange, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we were talking about any other topic, but I feel like it feels really weird. I feel like I don't like doing this at all.
Yeah, I can imagine.
My brain almost goes like, I remember there was.
Are you like dissociating? Like you're just separating? Like you're like
maybe that's
out?
what it is. Maybe that's what it is, because like I can remember like the first, I don't know, webinar that I did was for a billing company. And I think it was, I don't even remember the topic. I think it was HIPAA.
Something you knew well.
Yeah, something that I knew. It might have just been how to start up an AP. I honestly don't remember. Anyway, you could tell me, oh, it was actually this. And I would say, oh, okay, yeah, I believe that. So anyway, that's not it doesn't matter what the topic was. So I went into that thing and I was assuming that the owner of the company was going to be there to introduce me. And I think she got like tied up or something, right? And she couldn't join right at the start. And then her assistant let everybody in. And I was like, oh, like I never done it. I'm the process engineer. I sit in the corner. I do my job. I keep my mouth shut, right? Like that's.
Well, I mean, when you first started, when those first few years of 3 Pi Squared, one of your biggest things that you were really hoping to work on, to accomplish, with your social anxiety and speaking in front of people.
Yeah.
And so you started by, you're like, okay, I'll do these webinars, because that was even before you started the podcast, right?
Yeah. So the first one I did was for Baba, right?
And so then you're sitting here in this webinar, and then you have all these people coming in, and you're like like kind of forced into like the small talk.
Yeah. So
which is like small talk.
Well, it wasn't even
like,
small talk. It wasn't even small talk. It was like I couldn't even I couldn't remember my name. Right. And then like I don't remember the topic right now. I couldn't remember it then either. Right. And it was like, what am I here for? What and like
what did I get myself into?
I imagine it kind of like a Simpsons cartoon where you see Homer running out the door, right? Like that was in my brain, right? Like he was like, I'm out of here. And then it just like, and I just went blank, right? And like I got super red and I didn't know what I was doing. And then I kind of like I had been doing mindfulness, I believe, at this point. And so like I took a breath. I kind of leaned into those feelings, right? Of like, my goodness, I'm awful, right? And then I went through it, and the feedback from that, which I don't know that I believe it, but the feedback was positive from that. I certainly didn't feel it was positive, but I mean, I got through it, and I got through it. So yeah, that was kind of the first presentation I had ever done as 3 Pi Squared, right? The previous presentation that I did before that was when I was still working as an engineer, and the same thing happened, right? I did it in front of people, and like it was just like it was gone, right? So that's kind of where I started at, and so this is bringing up a lot of those same feelings, right? Like, what am I doing here? Why are you here? What are not you, like me,
no,
right? Like,
I get that.
What are you even? Why did you even write this? Like, who gave you the authority to write a book about this stuff? That's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, so this is a therapy session for all of you.
I think that a lot of people listening can probably relate in some way or another, right? Because you don't have to have had written a book or even done a presentation to be involved in things that stretch you and grow you.
Right.
And I think for a lot of BCBAs, I've heard the story of the parent training piece can really feel a lot like this, right? Especially in those beginning years, because you're in there or you're talking to parents and trying to explain to them how they need, how you would like for them to change their behavior or things that you would like to get their buy-in on for their child. And, even if you're attending IEP meetings or treatment meetings and you're having to speak and share your expertise in front of people, and it can feel, for some people more than others, but it can feel like really intimidating and really hard. And I know that a lot of our BCBAs in our practice would kind of try to get around parent training, especially for some parents the best they could. And that was kind of they're like, I'm not good at this. I don't have the skill of this. This is uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that they even published this book is a surprise to me. Right. And then, you were there the whole time, but I would go through it. I would share, okay, let's change this. What are we going to do here? Right. And then I went through it one last time just because I remembered, okay, there were a couple of things that I wanted to change. And the publisher was like, dude, you're running out of time. You need to finish this. Right. They were kind of, they wanted to get it to the print. And so I delayed it. It was supposed to be out before this. So I'm just grateful that they let me make these last changes. I was going through it. I was like, oh man, I didn't talk anything about AI. I didn't talk anything. Right. And so there are these areas that I was like, man, can I add a couple more chapters? Can I change things? I don't like what I said there. I don't feel like that's not what I was trying to get across in this section. So, I mean, I could be stuck here forever. So the fact that I was being pushed to get it out is probably a good thing because I don't know if I would have ever self-published this. So no, it was.
Yeah. When we were going through that, we kind of both stopped everything for a week and you were like, we've got to read through this book. I need you to read through it. We need to read through it. We printed off 2 copies and then we sat there straight through, reading through and finding those little tiny mistakes. And Stephen's like, I'm not no, I'm not putting this book out. You're like, no, I can't believe people are going to read this.
Yeah.
But I think that, I've never published a book, but I know people who have, and even just in the day of podcasts, I've listened to so many podcasts of other authors who have come on and talked about their books, and even people who are especially I think in the learning field, and then the growth, self-growth, development, learning, psychology, all of these adjacent kind of fields where it's not you're just writing a fictional story.
Right.
However, maybe some people, authors of novels and fiction writing might feel the same, but it's you do have that sense of this is not good enough. I can't believe this is going out, or, oh, I need to add things. I need to change things and have an ongoing, never ending process, because I think that's what happens in your brain. I'd love to hear from those of you who are authors listening who have had these experiences. I'm sure Stephen would love to hear from you and what your experiences were and if they were similar.
And I mean, I talked to a few people that were our authors, not were authors, but are authors, and they said this similar thing. But I said, I still feel I have no business being in this space, right? Why am I here doing this? So, it doesn't matter what they say. This is all about me.
No, I
right?
understand.
This is all about me.
I get that though. I do.
Yeah. So even them saying, this is, I didn't like my books. It was an awful process. Until you do it right, it is an awful process. And I'm hopeful that people like it, but I won't believe you if you like it anyway. So,
well, maybe it's less about do you like it and more about is it helpful?
Right.
Because that's like, that leads me kind of into my next question. Did you have an intention going into this? Was there something that you wanted to come out of this for yourself or for others?
I mean, the two big things, and we start off with it, right, is the vision, how important vision is. And I feel like when I started the business masterclass, and even with the previous book, it was like, okay, we got to start with the LLC. We have to start with the tax ID, right? Like I'm just giving you the process,
right,
start to finish, about how you logistically make this thing, right? But there is no, okay, why am I doing this thing, right? What do I want, right? It's just here is this thing, but like, how am I going to decorate it, right? What color paint do I want in this house? What kind of decorations what do I want when I walk in this house? What do I want to hear? What do I want to feel? And so like that's kind of what I'm hoping I brought in this book, is that's really as important, if not more important, than the ethical clinical services or the business understanding that you need to start. So I feel like that was one of the.
So you're saying the vision, the vision work,
right? And so like it starts with vision and it ends with vision, right? And so like that's kind of how I encapsulated the book. But like I said, I got lots of feedback, and again, shout out to Mallory. She's our CEU coordinator for 3 Pi Squared, but she's also a podcast panelist, and she's amazing and awesome. And so she helped me with the vision of this book. And then we go into I think I probably wasn't supposed to, but I pasted this part into a social media post. Was like, if you're doing this because you saw TRICARE's $150 an hour rate, you're not doing it for the right reason, right? And so let's like stop. And so I feel, again, like if your only reason for doing this is because you saw an ad in Facebook that said, hey, you can make $150,000 a year starting your own practice with us, then like that is not a reason to do this, right? Like there are other ways to make money than to have this be your entire focus. You know what I mean? So those are the kind of I hope it doesn't come off as like too judgy or naggy, right? But also a little bit judgy, maybe a little bit naggy. But there's Direct. More to this, right? There's more to this than just like I said, in the previous book, it was like, okay, this is how you do it. This is what you need. And I feel like there's more to it than what you need. There's also how you want this to be, right? Like, what does this look like? So I don't know. I'm rambling at this point. So go ahead and ask the next question.
Next.
Yep.
So is there going to be a second book?
Oh, I don't know. We'll see how this one goes.
I just asked that to poke you, because that's as at the end, as he was like, oh, I didn't add this. Oh, and like the fear in his eyes when he's like, oh my gosh, I didn't add this part. I didn't talk about this part. Oh my gosh, this other part is so important. How could I not have this part in this book and it be like a standalone book? And I said, it's okay, honey. You can write part 2. You can start working on part 2. And he was like, no.
Yeah, I don't know that I would. So we'll see. But to the tens of people that buy this book, maybe there'll be a second book, but I don't know that I would do it. I don't know that I would do it. So
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't know. I was going to add there were a couple other questions I had in my mind that I was going to ask.
Okay.
But I feel like you kind of already covered them.
Okay.
So I didn't know, do we want to kind of give a little information? Do you want to spill the beans on one of our other really exciting projects that's launching about this time alongside of the book?
I mean, we can, sure. If you would like to, you want me to answer that? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, do you want to talk about this thing?
Sure.
The top secret next adventure.
Top secret. So yeah. I mean, the idea is that so this will be a companion book to our updated new release of our business masterclass, right? So I'm going to be adding a lot of different things to this. So it will be new videos going through the entire process, like kind of in the same, slightly different, but it'll kind of go in the same flow as the book. And then we will also have some other things that go along with it. Like we'll have are we calling them guided notes?
Guided notes. Yeah. And we won't give out all the details just yet because we're still working on finalizing all the pieces. But if we have that launched out, if we have that ready to put out into the world by the time this podcast launches or drops, then we'll have it in the show notes. And but I just wanted to let those of you know to be on the lookout because you know us, we always have something new coming. What is it? What is the correct way to say it? Pipeline? What is this pipeline word everyone throws out? Down the pipeline. Yeah. Everything's coming down the pipeline. Well, okay. So back to your book. If I was going to say, what do you hope for the potential business leader or the business leader who is reading your book? What is your hope for them as they're reading it?
I mean, the biggest thing, and the reason why I started this company was to help, right? To help create amazing ABA practices, right? That's really the biggest thing is that maybe there'll be some things in there that you didn't think about, or that you're like, yeah, I know, but I have more important things to do. And so hopefully it will help guide, your priorities a little bit. And, again, that's why I kind of made it more of a story type thing. Not that it's fully like that, but shorter, easier to read, where you can learn from somebody else, and say, oh, okay, I see what happened here. Okay, I'm not going to do that. When
I did the final read through with you, it kind of, to me, I was like, oh, it's kind of like having being in a consult with you, right? Because you kind of tried to have that conversational, you're just chatting.
Yeah, I mean, I tried for it to be similar to our reels and our podcast, right? Kind of shorter things that you can take from it. You don't have to read the whole thing in one sitting. You can kind of skip ahead if you're in an area that, oh, actually I only need to focus on billing right now. You don't have to read back. You should, but if you're stuck in a spot, right, on HIPAA or you're on marketing, you can go to that part of the book and it's not, oh, I had to read the last 10 chapters before I can get to this point, right? So that's kind of similar to our podcast. You don't have to listen to it in a certain order most of the time, right? Unless there's a part 1 and 2, which we don't do that very often. So that's kind of how the book, at least that was my intention.
We have, I think probably lots of people out there, we have a family chat, right? With, I'm going to chat with Stephen has 3 sisters. So all of my sister-in-laws and, a few of our nieces and are all on a family chat together. And, we're in Canada and it came up, one of the bookstores here, kind of the Barnes and Noble of our area is Indigo. And so I knew it was on Amazon, but I thought to myself, I wonder if it's in a real bookstore, right? And so I went to Indigo and it popped right up. And so then I sent that to the family group chat last night. And I was like, look, guys, your baby brother published a book. And they were all like, oh, congrats and wow and excited. And Steven was like, why did you do that?
No.
Like, just helping you out, just helping to give you these nudges.
No, I'm supposed to do this. So, yeah. So, hopefully, like I said, hopefully the book is helpful to you. And yeah, if you have anything to tell me about it, well, I don't know that I want to hear about it.
All right. Well, I was going to ask it, did you have a favorite part of the book?
So I think the first chapter was probably, like the introduction of our story and how that kind of went. I feel like that was nice to write and kind of get through that because it was difficult. It was really difficult. And so like, one of the things that I can remember from the business leaders course was, and it's happened a few times where I'll get an email from someone saying, oh, I started the course. This is a lot. I think I'm just going to continue as a BCBA, right? Just working for somebody. And that was great. I was like, awesome. Right. So, it's difficult to be a business owner, and be a BCBA, right? It was difficult for me to be a business owner and I didn't have to do any of the clinical stuff. Right. And so for all of those solo BCBAs out there, this is a lot of work, right? So, maybe I'll, delay some of you from starting, or maybe you'll change your perspective. Like being a business owner isn't, while I don't regret doing it and I'm glad we did it, it's not for everyone. So
no, I thought you were going to say HIPAA. And there's this part in the middle where when I was doing the read through, like for the solid read through of the whole, I was like, holy moly. Cause like some of the stuff is how to manual, like, okay, you got to do this and you got to do this. Yeah. And knowing I've, having a copy in there when you published the first one, which that's all that was, right? Was really just a dummies version, how to do this at 101. And you had like screenshots and like you'd press this button and you press this button, right? Yep. So it was like a more advanced version of that. But then you kind of weaved in like a few like check-in questions and,
it is highly rated. So if you like dust off your old iPad or your phone and you download the Apple book, I think it's called Apple Books. I don't even have Apple Books on my phone. I don't know. And maybe I do. I don't even know. And maybe it's automatically installed.
Is it even a thing anymore?
No, it is. Yeah. Because like
App Store or something.
No, August showed us it was on Apple Books. The new one. She looked specifically for the new one. Oh, cool. So anyways, the old one is still there. And I think it's like $10, right? So if you're like, oh, you know what? I would like that, clickable looking at screenshots. Now, I will tell you, it's like
ancient at this point because there's a lot of tech stuff in there. So I don't know how much of that would be.
It's but I had interviewed people for the book and got their HR people and attorneys. I can't believe I'm advertising my old book right now. But that sounds about right. So there is that, but this one, I tried my best to make it less dry and boring. But
am I allowed to like flash a picture of what the book looks like on here?
So. We can share the screen and show the.
Oh, I have a great question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
So when you see the cover, why did you choose that cover? Because I know people are going to ask you, and I know the story behind it. I love the story behind it. And so why don't you share why you chose that cover?
Sure. So it's of Table Rock. That's where, one of our first dates, we went on a little hike, and because we're both stubborn and we had to show each other up, we decided we would hike to the top of Table Rock.
So okay. So more information on this.
Tell me more information. You're the more information person.
So Table Rock in South Carolina was like a special, it's like a park. It's like hiking and water and all the things, right? A county park or state park.
Yeah, I think it's a state park, and there was like a river or pond or something there, and you could go swimming.
Growing up, that's one of the places that we always went. It was like within an hour drive of our house. We would go up there to go to the mountains. We would go hiking as like older kids, and we would hike as a family thing. It was just something. And so I wanted to share that with Steven. And so I think I had you had sandals and nice shorts and a nice a nice golf shirt or something. And cause if anyone knows him, that's nice attire versus his graphic tees, right? He was all dressed up to we were still back in the dating stages, and I had on cute little outfit, had I can't remember what shoes, but they were not hiking shoes. They were some little flimsy sandals or something. And so I thought, we're just going to do this for those of you who know, Carrick Creek trails. I don't know. It was a mile loop or something.
Yeah, super simple, easy.
Right. Just a little meandering walk, and you get to see the water, and it just, but you're in nature.
It's the one that the seniors do, right? It's the
little kids and the seniors.
The little kid. Yeah.
And so we're let's just go do this. Right. And back in those days, we used to do these just impromptu drives where we would hop in the car, and you're let's go get an ice cream, or let's go check out this or whatever. And then we would end up venturing. Remember that? We used to just go. One time I was in my pajamas. You're let's go drive to go grab something. And I'm we're coming right back. And you're yeah, we're coming right back. And meanwhile, we ended up at a car lot. You decided you wanted to start pricing out. You're ready to upgrade your car.
Nice.
And so here I was not that I'm not the kind of person that really cares, but still I was I'm in my pajamas, and we're at the car lot, looking at test driving cars. Anyway, so it was it was that's just, those were the spontaneous days we used to have. Anyways, back to the story. And so we're just this little stroll in the mountains. And then we get to the part where the signs where it's go this way. And he's let's go this way. And I'm no, but that's all the way to the top of the mountain. And that's miles and miles long. And I don't even know. It's going to be dark by the time we get done. I'm not going to be up here in the dark with the bears and the mountain lions and all the things. Right. And you're I'll be fine. Let's do it. And then I'm I can't remember. There was some level of stubbornness where I was I got to be impressed. Okay, sure. Let's do it. Right. Okay. Why not? And we didn't have water with us. I think I had a purse with me or something versus this. And this was too my very I do remember in my head, right? I was I don't have the right, my very I organized things in very categories. I didn't have you were supposed to have hiking shoes and hiking clothes and your hiking backpack and water and snacks. We didn't even sign the thing that we're going far. We're going to get lost in the woods and we're not going to have anything. Anyways, that was my own mind. But so through that though, we made it to the top. And in all of the years that my family had gone to this place, and it was very special to us, I'd never been to the top. So we made it to the top. It was stone at the top. And there was this, if you looked, there was this one tree. And it was just kind of and it was hazy, and it was hot and summer in South Carolina. So you look across at all the beautiful view, except for it was hazy, right? So it was a little bit muted, right? But then there was this one tree, and both of us were really fascinated. We're look at that. Look at that one tree. It's just as stubborn as the two of us are. Right. And so that is a picture that hangs in our home. And, I'm actually working on putting a Table Rock wall gallery art on our staircase, but it's special to us. And so when the publisher was asking you
what do we
kind
want this to look like?
That was your first idea. You went straight to that moment, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, okay, go on here and show me like what you like and what designs and what shapes. And I was like, oh my goodness, I am not the designer, right? Like, that's April and our marketing people, they do that stuff. This is not my thing. And so, the first thing that came to mind is like, the only thing that I can think of is this, right? Like, we did the same thing with our company, right? It took a lot longer, but it was like, man, I think we can do this, right? And we just went for it, and we did all the mistakes, but we got to the top, right? And going down was much worse, but I don't have.
I do remember that.
Going down was horrible.
You know what? Okay, so if we're gonna like make this like, if we're gonna put connections here, so was like our company, like when we closed.
Yeah, it was really hard.
And it was COVID times, and we closed, and we had to figure out we tried to go through, you guys, if you've been around, you know our story, but like we tried to figure all of that out and navigate the end of that, as you were also already growing 3 by Squared at this time, but didn't really know. At that point, you were just selling handbooks and stuff.
No.
You had the podcast.
Yeah. So
but still, you had no idea how to the breadth of where this was going to go.
Right, sure.
And I don't think you thought you were going to have like almost 2,000 customers across the United States. Like that was like kind of, anyways. But that was hard because like going down that mountain was excruciating. I don't know if those of you who hike, you're like, of course, everybody knows that. Well, we didn't know that because our level of hiking was like a walk in the woods. Right. And so, but that's similar to closing the business and moving countries and, growing this business. That transition was really hard. Just like going down the hill. We used all
of our energy on getting up the mountain and didn't realize, like, dude, you just slide down. No. You have to have the muscles because you're going downhill, and you need to be able to stop. You need to be able to change direction.
Yeah, and like climbing, right? Like doing like rock. What do you call it? Rock scrambles or whatever.
So like it's I mean, if we're going down that road of selling your company can be worse than building your company into. So I think that was the reason why it was.
Love that we shared that. You should share that when you go on people's podcasts. Yeah, they might ask you.
I understand.
But you won't have me to tell all the details, but you can do the best you can. I try. I think it will be okay.
My podcasts are going to be like 10 minutes long.
They're really, yep, I wrote a book. It's about building your business. Yep. Done. Are we done now? No, I know you're going to do great. You're going to enjoy talking, and there are going to be lots of parts that people don't know about 3 by Squared that you'll get an opportunity to share, right? I am really excited about this opportunity for you. But I will say that the picture on the book is not our exact, sadly, it is not our exact picture of our table rock tree. We should do that. We should put that on social media, like as we launch this book of like the real tree.
Right.
It was old school, man. It wasn't a phone camera. It wasn't an iPhone. I had a BlackBerry at the time. I mean, this was, so I believe this was like just from like a little shooting.
So this would have been 2006.
Yeah, I think it may have been maybe it was a little Nikon just one of those point and click, like very poor quality. And so
I mean, it was amazing at the time.
At the time it was great. Yeah. But, so I think that they could not
picture.
use that exact picture, so they tried to find a picture as close to it as possible. But we will post the original picture, and maybe we'll even dig up some, let's dig up some pictures of us on that trip, of us, baby April and baby Steven.
I barely had white hair at that time.
Steven's hair, that was before I turned him gray. All right. Well, thank you thank you for those of you who are listening and allowing Steven this practice and listening to our, some of our journey and his journey. And thank you, Steven, for sitting in this uncomfortableness and allowing it. And I see your hard work.
Yeah,
I do. Though I see your whole hard work through the whole process. And especially now.
Okay. We have to stop this now.
Okay, we have to stop this now. I could get all mushy,
Yes.
but he might start crying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out with us today. This was fun. And if you are interested in more about this book, go to the show notes, buy it, read it. Let me. You don't have to let him know what you think. You can let me know what you think.
Yeah, and like if you're like I'm driving, I don't want to look at the show notes. Like I put in Amazon Stephen Smith ABA Soul and it came up. So like
I just put that in a Google search and it came up all the bookstores near me that had it. So exciting. And
I think also but I think that I get discounts. So if you guys reach out to me, you like want a discount, I think by the time this airs, we might have that figured out and we would have it in the show notes. But and then some people also do signed copies, and like I don't know anybody who would want a signed copy, but like if that is something that you want, just let me know and we can try to figure that out too. But yeah, I see people do that and it's weird. But if you want to be weird, I'll be weird with you.
I'm getting a signed copy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you better give me a signed copy, and I'm going to display it on my shelf in my office. Maybe I'll put it on my little shelf behind me.
I'm going to put it right there.
You're going to we'll add it to the, maybe you can make like a Lego version of your book. That might be kind of fun. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and check out those show notes for the book details, but also for our ABA Business Leaders. Yes, ABA Business Leaders. Holy cow!
Discord group.
Thank you. Support group. My brain keeps wanting to say social skills group. It is not, although I guess it could be considered that. Discord support group. So check out that. It's a hotline. It's no cost to be a part of it. We'd love to have you there. Yep. Great conversation is happening in that group. And then also, if you have any questions or you want to share your story, please go to the show notes and see the ABA Business Leaders Podcast hotline and leave us a message. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye.